Alrighty then, now that we're done with our countersinking, some people say countersinking, some people say chamfering, and we've done all the way around the gear, we'll give it a look over real quick. Maybe give this one just a tad more. You can take a screw out of the screw kit and set it in there and verify that it is just below the surface on all of them.
Mm-hmm.
It can be substantially below, but we're just asking for to be even with or just below the surface and test them all. It's a number 2 by 3/8 screw that we're using, and we'll just verify that we've achieved what we wanted, and we're done with that part. So now we're going to select some other gears. We want to get our 64 tooth link connector gear. We're not actually going to completely install it, but we're going to put it on the hub. This is the 12 millimeter keyed hub, and this 64 tooth link connector gear goes right on our 12 millimeter keyed hub. And then we'll put our spacer on, which is supposed to be just under a millimeter thick. There may be a smaller one in there in the kit, and we're going to put that on our gear. And when we're done, we're actually going to put this right here on there like that, but right now I'm going to save it for later. You see it fit real snug, and we're going to start building our sun gear set. Our sun gear set will be on this axle right here, which is a 6 millimeter hex keyed axle, and it's going to go in there, and we'll verify that that turns nice and free. You may want to slide it in and out a couple of times to break any little pieces off and make sure that it spins nice and free on there. And our sun gears will actually go on there. So now we're going to go to our sun gears. The sun gears are all 3 of them are 40 tooth gears. You have one that simply has a 5 millimeter hole in the middle for a hub, and you'll have a second one that has a 5 millimeter hole and a place for a drive rod. This is the sun drive gear. This is the sun middle gear. And this one here that has a hex hub in it fits on the 6 millimeter hex axle that actually drives the sun gears. And this one here is also a 40. You can see we got a little bit of stuff in our teeth on it that we have to clean out. And so we'll take our razor knife and we'll go ahead and make sure that the teeth are nice and clean. The problem is getting it in focus in my glasses. And we'll get that little piece of dirt out of there, and we'll spin it around. And that looks like the only one on that gear. Then we'll inspect our middle gear, which actually looks good, and our drive gear, which also looks very good and clean. So the next thing we're going to do is press a couple of flange bearings into these 2 gears. And we'll grab our flange bearings. Your bearings will be in a little pouch. And I actually have a tube of bearings here, and I'll just start pushing these bearings in. The one goes on this side pretty easily, and the one on the back side may take a little bit of effort to install. Until I have a sandwich. The one on the front came out, which is no big deal. And so we have our bearings in there like that. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our sun gear axle out of the sun gear axle pouch. There will be a couple of them in there. And we're going to go over to the arbor press, and we're going to press this sun gear axle in to the gear. this can be a adventure with bare hands. Probably need some needle nose pliers to do it, but we'll set our axle in there if we can, and then we'll run our press down. This is embarrassing.